Hello, I'm Ben, welcome back to the channel, and in this video I'm popping into Pakefield Coastwatch to meet Ian, who's one of the watch keepers here. He's also an amateur radio friend of mine, and hopefully Ian's going to give us a guided tour of the lighthouse and tell us a little bit about the role of the Coastwatch.
Oh, morning Ben.
Ah, morning Ian, how you doing?
All right. Well, the lighthouse was built in 1831.
Yeah.
So it's, and then it had a red light originally.
Did it?
And then it went, because the sandbanks were no longer a problem, it went out of use. And then it was used again, I believe. And then in about 1910, there was a cottage attached to it that Pontins used to use as a dark room.
Okay.
And somebody bought the cottage and the lighthouse as a holiday home, but it was too near the cliff. So in 1920, somehow or other, they moved it 100 yards.
The whole lighthouse?
The whole lighthouse
Right.
back here. And then it's sometimes called the Forgotten Lighthouse because when they started Coastwatch about 20 years ago, they went to Trinity House and said, can we use the lighthouse? And they said, what lighthouse?
Didn't even know they had one.
They didn't know they had one here. So, but anyway, Coastwatch took it over. So what we do is we track, monitor and log anything that comes in and out of a Lowestoft. And then we've got a buoy over there, a Newcombe Sound buoy. And anything that goes past that, we log that as well. It dates back really to the days before the automatic identification system that the ships have now, a bit like transponders on an aircraft, whereby if something was in difficulty, we could say, well, Coast Guard could say, well, they saw it at Pakefield, but Felix still haven't seen it. So they could narrow the search area. Yeah. But now with the automatic identification system, we've got the direct radio one, and we've got the internet version as well. So we can, even if it's foggy and we can't even see lower stuff, we can still see the ships on and track them. Well, I just put brackets on the log AIS so that we can't actually see it.
Okay, so this screen on the left then, so that's, you said that's live radio, so that you've got an AIS receiver in here,
Yes,
which receives VHF AIS from live.
So,
and you say, so this one on the right here,
this is marine, or vessel finder. But I say, even in bad weather, we can keep track of what's going on, who's coming in and out, and of course they radio as well. We monitor channel 14, which is Lowestoft port control. We've got the distress frequency 16 and the Coast Guard on 0. So we monitor those and keep track of what's going on. We have a legal requirement to keep the logs for 7 years in case of any inquiries or problems or whatever. So we've got quite a collection of paperwork down in the office going back 7 years, because obviously we raise at least a sheet on every shift. We do come to the end of the month when the clocks go, we'll be doing 8 till 12, 12 till 4 and 4 till 8. At the moment we finish about 4 or 5 because in a couple of, a few weeks ago it would be dark at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
But again, there's nothing to stop you staying up here because the buoys would all be lit up. You can still see what's going on in AIS. So, it's just, but then we're a registered charity, which is all run by volunteers.
How many volunteers do you have then?
I think at the latest count with the new trainees, there's 5 or 6 trainees. I think we've got 33 now.
Wow, so it's quite a few.
So it's, we lost quite a few. People didn't want to come up during COVID, and then some have never come back after COVID. So we lost probably 8 or so through that. But the numbers are gradually improving now. So I'm hoping that we'll, because occasionally we've had to miss, there's been the odd shift that's not been manned for whatever reason. But now I think we've got enough to cover all the shifts.
Okay, so normally daylight hours, there'll be at least 1, possibly 2, maybe more of you up there, is there?
Yeah, I'm a senior watchkeeper, so they let senior watchkeepers, we're more experienced, so we can run it on our own. But ideally, we like to have 2 up here. It just depends on numbers and things.
So I can see as well as VHF Marine, you've got the CB in there as well then, Ian? So what's the CB for?
Well, the CB was originally designed so we could talk to Galston and possibly Winterton, but Winterton, of course, got problems. They're looking for alternative accommodation after their place was swept away by the high tides. Yeah. I've got a fairly powerful set of binoculars. I can read entrance up here at lower stuff, so we can, again, we track anything that comes in and out, because some of the smaller fishing vessels either by law don't need AIS or they turn it off so that the other fishermen don't know where they're going. So if that's the case, we can still see if something comes in and out. Probably just a visual, and then we can just check on the binoculars and see, and take it from there.
Ian also demonstrated the station's radar before showing me around outside, including the public access defibrillator. The mobile mast next to the lighthouse, which contains several CCTV cameras and radar, is operated by the UK Border Force. Unlike the National Coastwatch Institution stations, Pakefield is an independent organisation but members of the National Sea Safety Group. The Sea Safety Group consists of a number of coastal surveillance stations in which volunteers give up a few hours a week to help keep a visual watch on the coastal waters in support of search and rescue operations. And as you saw, they monitor all the distress channels on the VHF Marine radio, and the volunteers assist and report directly to His Majesty's Coast Guard, who annually test the stations for the granting of declared facility status. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this insight into the work of the Coastwatch volunteers. The charity relies on public donations for the maintenance and upkeep of the station and all of its equipment. So if you enjoyed watching this video, then please consider a donation to the charity, and I'll leave a link in the description down below to their website. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.